day 2. Thank you so much for joining me. It's a pleasure to bring this to you. My name is Anna, for those of you that aren't familiar with me. So today is a big day. This is my favorite topic, and this is what's changed my life the most on the grandest scale of everything. But first we're going to just review. We're going to review what we talked about yesterday. So how did you feel after yesterday's masterclass? Because yesterday was about understanding how you're responding to the outside world. It's understanding how you're feeling about yourself. It's understanding your inner dialogue. It's understanding where your focus is and how to change it. We talked about your story, identifying what's going on for you in your mind, your story, and how you identify with life and you know how you're feeling about your life. We also spoke about the seeds. Remember, I spoke about the seeds. If I give you the seeds, which this masterclass is all about, it's me giving you the seeds. It's up to you whether you're going to nurture them and actually do the work to transform your life. Seeds that are left on the bench won't take you anywhere. Or seeds that aren't nurtured, continuously nurtured, won't get you very far either. So there's one thing about being inspired, but there's another thing about taking that inspiration, embodying that inspiration, and then doing something with it consistently on a daily basis. We also talked about how the evidence of what is showing up for you in your world is just a reflection of what you're thinking. Because there are no neutral thoughts. Every thought that you think is projected outward and it comes back to you as your life experience. So we spoke about, okay, so have a look at what's happening around you. Have a look at the evidence in your life that's showing up for you in your world, and that's a reflection of the thoughts that you've been thinking. So we also spoke about letting go. We spoke about letting go of attachments and our judgments, because that is what pinches you off from the supply. It's what pinches you off from what you're asking to come in. If we're talking about if we're saying I don't have enough money, I don't have this or I don't have that, then that is saying to the supply, look, I'm sorry, I'm not ready to accept that because I'm here saying I don't have enough. So this is how the universe works, and this is what we're going to get into today. So yeah, if you've got any comments, I can see the comments as well, so feel free to participate during this live, and that way it'll be a great interaction, and then because that means you're energetically interacting, and then also people will learn from your comments, and that's just how you get energetically involved. Wendy said, straight after the class yesterday I had a quote come up. It said, when writing the story of your life, don't let anyone else hold the pen. Yes! That's exactly, and where did you see that, Wendy? This is exactly what today's class is going to be. What you send out comes back to you as a sign or as a confirmation that you're on the right path. And this is what today's lesson is going to be about. Yeah, I'm really excited. Okay, let's get into today. So yesterday we spoke about you, as I already said, yesterday we spoke about you. Motivational quote on the phone. Yes, Wendy's in alignment. She's getting the signs. Fantastic. So yesterday we spoke about you and your perception of life and how everything's happening around you. Today we're going to talk about the invisible self and the invisible realm and what that means. So when you focus on, we're going to focus on the inside world and what's happening inside of us. So we're going to talk about your true nature. Now this is the number one problem that people are facing in the world. People are thinking that they're a human body having this human experience. There's not enough in the world. It's just all lack. It's all struggle. It's all heartache. It's all problems. That's the world of the ego. That's the world of form. That's the world of self, you, the physical self, in this planet, in this earth, in this time-space reality, as some people say. But that's not who you are. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. when we change that perspective and you start to grasp and start to understand that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, it helps you to separate the two. It helps you to separate that this is my life, this is my experience, but this is who I am. This is who you are is grand, it's miraculous, it's magical, it's limitless, it's perfect, it's whole, it's complete. Whereas this perspective of self, this little I, this little me, this is limited. This perspective of self is limited. So this perspective of self sees that there's not enough, sees that there's problems in the world, and responds to the problems as I'm the small little me and I'm struggling in this thing called life. This other part of ourselves, this spiritual part of ourselves, is connected to the whole, which means the whole is the universe. The whole is whatever you want to call it, God consciousness, creation, unlimited potential. There's all these different words for it. We all give certain labels to certain things in our lives. So whatever rings true for you, you can use that. So you can use source, you can use God, consciousness, universe, whatever rings true for you. So you are part of the whole. There's a saying, I've written down some sayings because I don't want to miss out on anything. This is an example of who you are. So I remember when I stood at the edge of the Grand Canyon, and somebody said to me, I was part of the Parish Pastoral Council back in the early 2000s, I think. Early 2000s? Yeah, I think so. And I said to some people, mid 2000s actually, 2005, I said to some people, some parishioners, that I said, I'm going to America, I'm going to the Grand Canyon. And this one gentleman said to me, when you stand on the edge of the Grand Canyon, he goes, you see God. Oh, that just moves me, that gives me goosebumps. And I didn't quite understand what he was saying. I just thought, oh, okay, that's nice, sort of thing. That's nice, thanks for that. And then I go to the Grand Canyon and I stand on the edge. Hi, Bet, welcome to the call. So I stand on the edge of the Grand Canyon, and unbelievable. It was this vastness. It was this vastness that was so big that you couldn't capture it with your entire perspective. It was beyond what was conceivable, the Grand Canyon. And you did. I mean, I did feel a presence. I felt an unlimited, all-encompassing presence. It's the same when I stand at the ocean. If you've ever stood on the shore of the ocean at the beach, and you look out and all you see is this horizon. You see this vastness. You see this unlimited spaciousness. It's so big you can't even almost comprehend the depths and the width and the breadth and all of that of the ocean. That is who you are. That is who we are. And when we start to tap into that energy, when we start tapping into that awareness, this is the gateway to change in your life. You can think your way into well-being, you can think your way into abundance, you can think your way into wealth and all of those things, the personal things that we're trying to achieve or attain in this life. But when you grasp your unlimitlessness, when you grasp or fully understand who you are on a soul level, there is nothing grander than that. All your problems disappear, all your problems melt away, all of your problems become insignificant because you know who you are. You know, you walk in life with that awareness every single step. And with every single step of that awareness, you create miracles through that awareness. Now, miracles, when I talk in terms of miracles is a base, as sort of the basis of A Course in Miracles. Now, A Course in Miracles was a channeled book, and I study that every day, and I'm into day 100 now. I studied it a few years ago, and now I'm back into studying it because I've now come back into self. I've come back into my purpose, into my journey, and and I'm embracing every single day the essence of who I am, the reality of who I am. And then you work with that magic through you, and you let that come out into the world. Now, there's this is an example of who you are. There's a quote by Rumi. Rumi says, "You are not the drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in the drop." So let me ask you this. If I'm standing in the ocean and I grab a cup of water, is that water still the ocean? Yes, it is. Even though it's separated from the ocean, it's removed from the ocean, but it's still the ocean. Sorry, I thought I heard something. So you're still the ocean. You are not the drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in the drop. So when we look at the ocean, for example, and we see those little waves, so we see the waves emerging. They're all over the ocean. This is who we are. We are an individual wave in the ocean of everything, in the ocean of consciousness, in the ocean of the universe. And we take on that identity. We take on that identity as though it's the individual I. It's I am the wave and I'm separate from the ocean, and I'm the wave that has all the problems. I'm the wave that has all the challenges. I'm the wave that has all the issues. But the wave is not separate from the ocean. And this is where we struggle. This is where we separate ourselves. We believe that we're separate. And in the separation, in the believing that we're separate, this is where all the struggle comes in. This is where all the lack comes in. This is where all of the strife, the heartache, and the problems, this is where they all come in. So raising your awareness first to who you truly are is how you live a fulfilled and happy life. That's the start of everything. It's the start of your awareness and of remembering who you are. You're a limitless being. So because we live in this, we believe that we're physical beings having a physical experience, and that's all that there is. But that's not the truth of who we are. We are the ocean in the drop. So when we start to, so you are in this world, but you are not of it. Therefore, you possess the same capabilities as the creative force with which you were created. You came into this world to experience life. You came into this world, you chose to come into this world. This is another thing. When people understand that they've chosen, their soul has chosen to come into this experience, this is then when we start to have some accountability for what the results and the outcome that we're getting for our lives. Because if your soul chose to come here, then that means there's a grander purpose for your being here. That means that there's a grander reason. You've come here for a reason and a purpose. And it's your journey to find that. So your journey to find that is to follow your desires. It's to find out, okay, well, what do I love? What do I want? And your happiness is your only purpose, the reason that you're here. So I've got a couple of quotes. This is from Albert Einstein. So we call that the field. So this is the field. So for example, if I was to ask you to explain the field to me, a lot of people, especially if you don't understand this concept, people will say, I don't know, what is the field? The field is all around you. And the way I express this and to help people to understand what the field is, the field from which you emerged, I ask a person, so if I was to ask a fish to explain water, if I was to ask a fish to tell me about the water that it's swimming in, the fish won't be aware of it. The fish would not understand that it's life-giving, life-supporting, all-encompassing, and it surrounds the fish. But yet the fish will go through life, swimming in just doing its thing, and this is what we're doing as well. We're going through life, doing our thing, coming up against obstacles, we're bumping up against resistance, which is the problems, without realizing that we are within the field of consciousness. And so this is a quote from Albert Einstein. The field is the sole influence of the particle. So let me explain this. So when you plant a seed, like when you plant like a real seed in the garden, that seed has intelligence. Now that seed, so let me know if this is a bit too big for you, or if you're understanding, or if you've got any questions along the way, let me know. That way I can explain it a little bit further, because I've been doing this stuff for decades. So the seed, you plant the seed has an intention. So because if you plant a pumpkin seed, you won't get oranges. If you plant a pumpkin seed, you can't get lemons, because there is an intelligence within that seed, that when you plant that seed, the intelligence of that seed will produce the fruits of the intention within that seed. So you plant the seed and you nurture the seed. Then how does the seed grow? I heard this a number of years ago, and I went, that's how it works. So you plant the seed, then from this infinite field, so you can think about the fish swimming in the water, the infinite field that surrounds you, that then draws particles. So the particles come out of the field. So everything that exists, so for example, this phone, this computer screen, the clothes that you're wearing, the chair that you're sitting on, everything came from the field. The field, then, whatever the intention is in this life, whatever the intention is, it then draws or attracts to it like particles. So those particles turn into form, turn into matter, and then that then draws the particles of that intention, of that equal energy, that from the realm, from the energetic field. Oh, hi May, hi gorgeous. So then that then makes the plant grow. It's like a magnet. The seed is the magnet. It's the magnet to attract the equal matching particles to that seed, which then grows. And this is what we're doing in our life. The intention that we have, the thoughts that we have, the feelings that we have. May says, I love your energy. Thank you, May. You're gorgeous too. So this is what I want you to grasp. What shows up in your life is a reflection or a response to the magnetic pull that you are calling in, from that field. That field, the field of the unlimited, the universal field. Everything stems from the invisible. Everything comes from the invisible. Everything that is around you, like the couch behind me, the TV, everything in your space, everything in your room, first started in the invisible field. Then it became a thought. Somebody had that thought for that thing, that item, and the thoughts come from a need. So when you feel like you have a need for something, so a need for a relationship, a need for money, or a need for even for food, for clothes, or whatever, that need gets projected out there, and the frequency of that signal, exactly like the seed that we put into the ground to grow whatever it is that you planted, it matches the frequency and it draws it to you. And that is then how you experience things. That's how things happen in your life. Now, I've got a really good example of something that happened to me. So I went to the Dr. Joe Dispenza in 2016, his advanced workshop, and that was on the Sunshine Coast. And he gave us an exercise to draw in something, to manifest something out of the ether. And it was a process. I think it was like a 20-minute process or something. We had to pick an item, pick an item of something that we wanted to manifest, or something that we wanted to attract into our lives. And he goes, an object. So pick an object, and this is something that I'm going to help you to do that as well at the end. So you pick an object. So, and I was thinking, well, what will I pick? So I picked a blue butterfly. Now, the blue butterfly, so it was a process. It was a kind of a meditation process. We just had to sit there with our eyes closed. It was beautiful music playing. It was a dark room. It was just beautiful, and we had to visualize this item. So, in other words, we're drawing it from the invisible field, the field of everything around us, the ocean of possibility. And then we're drawing that to us. So we're sending out the signal of what it is that we want. So I had this blue butterfly. I was thinking blue butterfly, blue butterfly, and I was visualizing a butterfly floating around me and all of this stuff. Here's the thing though. You put out the signal of what you want, but you're not, how it comes to you is not up to you to decide. How it comes to you is up to consciousness to decide, or the universe to decide. But whatever you want, you need to become in conscious alignment with that thing. So I had this blue butterfly. So there was like 500 people there, and then we all broke. We had a break for lunch, and here I was walking outside, expecting this blue butterfly to show up and flutter past me, or land on my shoulder, or something like that. I had all of these thoughts of, okay, how's it going to show up for me? And then so we line up. I just line up. There's 500 people there. Line up for lunch, and I just join the line at wherever I join the line. And the lady in front of me, we started chatting, and she goes, what was your symbol? What was your object? And I said, blue butterfly. I can't remember what her object was. Anyway, I said blue butterfly, and she goes, I have it. Oh, I get goosebumps talking about that. I go, what do you mean you have it? And here I am thinking, no, sorry. That's not how the universe works. This butterfly is supposed to flutter past me. This butterfly is supposed to land on my shoulder, or on my head, or on my hands. I had this expectation of how I wanted something to show up for me. And she goes, I had this need to bring this blue butterfly. And I said, and here I was thinking, no, but that can't be, because I've told her what my object was, and she just happens to have a blue butterfly. But I could have joined the line at any place. I could have joined the line behind anybody. But I joined the line behind the lady, the actual one lady who had this feeling that she needed to bring a blue butterfly with her. I keep this as my symbol. I keep this as my symbol everywhere I go. Well, not everywhere I go. I keep it in my office where I can see it every day, because this is my symbol, and this is my evidence that this universal field, or this ocean of consciousness, is listening. It's listening to you. It's listening to us. So there's two ways to live. This is another quote by, where is it? This is by Albert Einstein. There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. To live your life as though nothing is a miracle is to live your life absolved or with problems. To live your life as though nothing is a miracle is to believe that you are a physical being living in this human experience, and then that's it. To live your life in the perspective that everything is a miracle, this is where you create effective change. This is where peace and harmony and wholeness and abundance starts to emerge into your life, because all of a sudden you're changing your perspective. All of a sudden you're seeing life from a different lens. We get to choose. You get to choose. Here's another good example. Now these are two rocks, two stones. This one is a rose quartz, and this one is a rock, just a rock. Now I actually got this from Sedona in Arizona. I grabbed it because Sedona has a high energy, and there's a lot of people that go there for meditation and for healing and all of that stuff. So there's a high energy around around Sedona, so I grabbed a rock from the road and I wanted to take it with me. But what's the difference between these two rocks? They're both rocks, both solid items. So you can live your life from either perspective. You can live your life from a crystal perspective, or you can live your life from a dense rock perspective. Now the difference is one has a higher frequency than the other. The crystal has a higher frequency than the stone. Grasp that. You can live your life from a higher frequency, which means you're connected to the universe, you're connected to source, you're in touch with your creative possibilities, or you can live your life from this dense, low frequency, low energy perspective of life, where you will bump into problems, where you will see yourself as separate from the ocean. You won't see yourself, you'll see yourself as the wave, but not attached to the ocean. You'll see yourself as powerless and limited. So there's two perspectives, and this is what today's lesson is all about. Which perspective do you want to live your life? So I love these. I have these on my desk in front of my computer as a consistent reminder of how do you choose to live your life. So this is what today's lesson is all about. How are you choosing to live your life? Every thought is a seed in your consciousness that, when tended to consistently, produces the fruits of that very desire. That's one of my quotes. Every thought is a seed in your consciousness that, when tended to consistently, produces the fruits of that very desire. So whatever you're thinking, you're projecting outward. You're projecting it outward to the field of all possibilities, the field of who you are. You are not the how does it go? You're not the drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in the drop. Eckhart Tolle says, the awakening of consciousness is the next evolutionary step for mankind. Think about that. The awakening of consciousness, this is what today's class is all about. The awakening of consciousness, of your awareness, is the next evolutionary step of mankind. So how do we do that? How do we then step into this awareness? You step into this awareness by being still, by being quiet, by focusing on your heart. Hello, gorgeous Grace. Welcome to the call, gorgeous. So you step into this awareness by understanding that everything is energy. You are moving through this time-space reality as an energetic consciousness. Living from this perspective, you're rising above your problems, you're rising above your limitations, you're rising above your lack perspective. Because in this unified field, it's called this unified field. It's where the fish is swimming. The fish is swimming in the unified field. The unified field, which is the water, is life-sustaining. It's life-giving to the fish. It's all-encompassing. It's everywhere. That's the same with it's the same with this field, this unified field of consciousness. I've got another quote here from where is it? This is also from Einstein. A human is a part of the whole called by us universe, a part limited in time-space. He experiences himself, his thoughts, and his feelings as something separate from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of consciousness. This is what the seers, the seers, Buddha, Jesus, all of these seers that have come before us for millennia and have been trying to teach people. You are one with everything. You are one with the whole. You are an incredible creative force in the universe and in the world. And every time you remember who you are, every time you step into that power of who you truly are, the world, the energy of the world shifts. So every time you remember who you are and you step into that awareness within and you feel this all-encompassing, this incredible feeling of awe and peace and love, what you are actually doing to the world is that just you imagine a still pond. You imagine this still pond, and every thought that you think, or the consciousness, every time you think of or remember who you are, it's like throwing a pebble into that still pond. And what happens with that still pond? It ripples outward. Every thought that you think ripples outward to humanity. It ripples outward like this. It ripples outwards to the edge of the universe. Your joy, your fulfillment, and your happiness is your purpose. You came into this life at this exact time because your soul chose to came here. You came here to remember who you are. You came here to remember joy. You came here to remember bliss. You came here to remember happiness. But along the way, see, we've come into this time, space, reality, as you know, as your life. We've come here through the veil of forgetfulness. Now, what does the veil of forgetfulness mean? The veil of forgetfulness means that you've forgotten who you are. You've forgotten what you're capable of. You've forgotten how incredible and how unlimited you are. Because what would happen if everybody came in here, knowing who they were? There'd be no problems. There'd be nothing to solve. The journey, though, the journey to finding yourself is the growth. The journey to finding yourself is the purpose. The journey to finding yourself is your divine calling. It's what you came here to do. And in the process of us forgetting that, we suffer. In the process of us forgetting that, we're limited. In the process of us forgetting that, we believe that we're not worthy. These are here. I've written them down. These are the biggest blocks to getting what you want. Okay, I am not good enough. It's these thoughts and these beliefs. I am not good enough. As I read these out, I want you to feel if they resonate true for you. I am not good enough. I am not worthy. I can't have what I want. I don't love myself. I don't accept myself. This is the separation. This is the belief that you're separate from everything. This is the belief that you're separate from the whole. This is the belief that you think that you are the wave separate from the ocean. The ocean is the energy with which you live. It's that life force that's within. What makes your body tick? People say, well, it's my heart. Well, where's the energy coming from for your heart to beat? Your heart beats, I think it's like 100,000 times per day, and it does it automatically. It's this life force that's within you that when we forget how magical and how incredible it is, that's when we see problems. That's when we see troubles. That's when we see drama. We connect ourselves to the drama thinking that it's true. So how do we do this? How do we shift this? How do we then become aware of who we truly are? You have to, it's kind of like getting in touch with the mystical. This is what Genevieve Barand as well, she was a teacher of visualization, and her story is really amazing. She was teaching visualization in America. She was traveling around America. I think she was doing it for 35 years or something, and she was teaching visualization. And she says, do not fear to be your true self, because everything you want wants you. Imagine that. Do not fear to be your true self, because everything you want wants you. Now we're going to do a little energy exercise. Now the quote from Genevieve Moran says that basically your desires, what you dream about, wants you back. But we're pushing it away. We're saying, no, I'm separate. I am the wave. I'm separate from this ocean of abundance. I'm separate from this ocean of everything. I'm separate from this ocean of all possibilities, this infinite possibility. But as Rumi says, you are not the drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in the drop, which means you have the same creative force, this energy force that flows through you, through your awareness. It flows through you through your awareness that this is who you are. And yeah, this changed everything for me, because I started to think, wow, am I really that powerful? Here I am living in this life of problems, not realizing that I have this ocean of possibility that is supporting me, that is life-giving. It's basically carrying you through your life. The way to tap into that is tap in into the field is to be still. Now these are some things that you can do. All right. I want you to you can write this down, or you can watch the replay if you've got your pens ready. So how do we connect to the field? We connect to the field, so you take your attention away from your problems. Take your attention away from your problems, whatever is disturbing you, and place them on your beingness. There's a life force within you, and I'm going to do a little exercise with you right now. So what I want you to do is just drop everything that, if you're writing anything, just drop everything, put your feet flat on the floor, and just relax. And I want you to put all of your focus and your attention on your left foot. Put all of your focus and all of your attention on your left foot. Raise your awareness. All of a sudden, I want you to raise your awareness on your left foot. I'm doing exactly the same thing. Left foot. Think about your left foot. Feel your left foot. And what's happening? What's happening right now? Is your left foot all of a sudden becoming alive? What I can feel, for me, I can feel a tingling in my left foot. All of a sudden my shoe, I can feel my shoe all over the top of my foot, behind my foot, on my heel. I can feel my sole resting in my shoe. All of a sudden I've given my left foot life. The beingness. Yes, Bet says yes, me too. What can you feel? You can type it in the comments. What can you feel with your left foot? And just a moment ago your left foot was there and you weren't even aware of it, because your attention and your focus wasn't on your foot. This is energy. All of a sudden you've transferred your energy into your left foot because you've become aware of it. That's your awareness. That's what your awareness does. It gives life to whatever you're focusing on. So if you focus, so feel, you can still feel, I can still feel my foot. And I actually like to do this exercise because I can do it with my hands, I can do it with my any part of your body, with your heart. This is another really good one to do this. Yes, Bet says heaviness on the floor and tingling. This is a really good exercise to do with your heart as well, to focus all of your energy and your attention on your heart center. You can do that. You can do this after the call, because this is going to be one of your homework things to practice. To practice focusing your attention and awareness on something. And that's exactly how I manifested this blue butterfly. I focused my attention and awareness on a blue butterfly, and I happened to join the line at the exact time and moment where this woman was standing. And this is how you create. This is your creative force, your creative being. You are a creator. You are not separate from the ocean. The ocean is who you are. The ocean is who you are, which means you are the field. You are in the field of all possibilities. What you can achieve is miraculous when you tap into that field. So this is how what I want you to do is I want you to focus. So you take your attention away from your problems. They'll be there. You can pick them up later. That's no problem at all. You take your attention away from your problems. Just feel the life force within your body. You just feel silence. You just feel peace. And you can do this multiple times a day. This is kind of like you going to the gym for your awareness. You going to the gym for your connection to the universal, the field. So you focus your attention on the life force within. Who are you without your thoughts? Who are you without your story? Who are you without your beliefs? Who are you without your problems? You are the ocean. You are that life force that flows through everything. May says, love your energy. This is the energy of the universal consciousness that I tap into. This is when you tap into this energy, all of a sudden you're tuned in and tapped in, and then you become the creator of your life because you understand how to do it. You understand how miraculous and how truly there's an intelligence that surrounds you. That's that fish. Think about the fish in the ocean, the fish in the water. That is an intelligence field that responds to what you ask for. When you remember who you are and you live your life from that perspective, your problems suddenly start to shrink. Your problems start to dissipate. They start to disappear because this energetic life force within you, this mystical presence, starts to be like that water. It's all-encompassing. You just tap into it. You just tap into the field through your awareness. So you focus on the attention. You focus your attention on the life force within. You can also do this lying down. Sometimes I do this when I'm in bed as well. I just lie down and feel the life force within me. That's that ocean. That's that ocean of consciousness. So spend time alone every single day. It's so important to spend time alone because when you spend time alone, you're left with yourself. You're left with your thoughts. That's why people do meditation. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to post in the chat after the call, I'm going to post a 10-minute meditation. It's not my meditation, but it's a meditation to help you get in touch with this field. It's going to help you get in touch with who you truly are. It's only 10 minutes. If you do it every single day, you strengthen. It's just like going to the gym. You start to strengthen your connection to the field, and you start to strengthen your connection to who you are. All versions of you already exist because creation is finished, which means everything that already exists, every version of you is in that field. It's finished. It's all versions of you, all possibilities of any story or version of you already exists in that field, that universal field of intelligence, which you are an extension of. Just like that wave, you can take that visualization. If you've got challenges or problems, you can just feel yourself as the wave in the ocean. You're still part of that ocean. So every version of you already exists. So which version, the version that's shown up for you right now, is the version that you've been tapping into. It's the version that you've been responding to and been calling in. So whatever is showing up for you right now, it's what, remember I talked about that seed. You planted the seed. The energetic pull of the intention within that seed draws from that universal field. It draws from the invisible field, it draws it down into matter. Matter is the physical world. Matter is what we can taste, touch, and yeah, taste and touch. That's matter. So what you are projecting outward is coming back to you. You are drawing that like that magnet. Think about the seed that you plant, and its magnetic pull is the intention that it's like that magnet, that the intention that the universe is responding to, or the field, and then that shows up in your life. What I want you to think about is, okay, well, what am I projecting out into the field? What am I magnetizing to me? What am I calling in? What thoughts do I have about what I want, or what's showing up for me in my life? We did that a little bit yesterday. We did that energy exercise. You put your all of your attention on your left foot, and then all of a sudden it became alive. Whereas a moment ago it was there and you didn't even know it was there. You didn't even know it existed. It's exactly the same with drawing in the experience that you want in your life. So you focus your attention on your life force within. You do that in quiet and stillness. You spend time alone every day in silence. Now that can be just going out into the garden and just sitting there and just observe, but don't think. This is the catch. You spend time alone without thinking about the day, the problems, what you can see. You just spend time alone with just your presence, your life force. And this takes practice, because our minds have like 60,000 thoughts a day. 60,000 thoughts a day our minds have. So when our minds have 60,000 thoughts a day, it's this obsessive compulsive thinking. But tapping into the field dissolves that obsessive compulsive thinking. 80 or 90% or 95% of your thoughts that you're having today, you had yesterday. And 95% of those you're going to have tomorrow. Until you create some spaciousness, until you create some space between who you are in this life, in this physical form, versus who you are in the non-physical form. You've got to create the space. Creating that space is by tapping into your awareness. It's by tapping into the feelings of who you truly are. So practice that. And then also, so spend time alone each day. Just feel the sun on your skin. Just look at a cloud. Just be. Practice being, because you will then get in touch with that infinite field. That's how you strengthen that. Another way to get in touch with that field is, and I did that this morning, and it was amazing. I was outside. I wake up every morning before the sun rises, and I go and do a process, which I'll talk to you about tomorrow. I go and do a process in my room, so before the sun rises in the dark. It's beautiful. And then as the sun rises, it's kind of like the sun is rising. It's dawning a new awareness. It's dawning a new sense of being within myself. And I tap into that universal field, that field of consciousness, or God consciousness, source consciousness, whatever you want to call it, which is who you are. And I tap into that. And I was watching this morning, it was a magnificent sunrise. And I was just enamored. I was just tapping into, I almost sort of say, hello, God. And then whatever you feel something beautiful, whenever you see something beautiful, like a rose or a flower or a sunset or a cloud or a sunrise or a horizon, or even if you play some beautiful music that actually moves you, that is who you truly are. You are tapping into the field. Whenever you are overcome and overwhelmed with such gorgeous beauty, or that is, you're tapping into yourself. You are seeing your reflection of yourself in that moment. So tap into as many moments as those as you can. Be still. Watch the sunset. Watch the sunrise. You don't have to be there for half an hour or 20 minutes. Even momentary moments. Like I remember when I lived in this other house, I could see the sun setting from my kitchen. So it's sunset is usually dinner time, and sometimes there was there would be these rays of light just shining straight onto me while I was in the kitchen, and I would start to see this pink or purple sort of sunset. I would just run to the window. I would drop whatever I was doing, and I would just stand at the window. I would just stand at the window and connect to that unified field, to connect to God, to connect to my source of life, the energetic field with which and through which I create a magnificent life. That's what you came here to do. You came here to remember who you are. You came here to create a magnificent life, and getting in touch with that source of who you are is how you do it. It's magical. It's miraculous. So look at something beautiful. Spend time alone each day. That's how you get there. That's how you fall in love with your life. That's what I want you to do. I want you to fall in love with your life. Because you are the cause to your effect. The effect is what is showing up for you in your life. The cause is what you believe about life. It's what you believe about who you are. It's what you believe as what's possible for you. And in that space of peacefulness and stillness, all of a sudden your beliefs start to shift. Your beliefs about what's possible starts to come into your focus and into your awareness. Exactly what Wendy said earlier. Wendy said that she had a quote. Straight after the class yesterday, a quote came up. She said, when writing the story of your life, don't let anyone else hold the pen. That's right, don't let anybody else hold the pen. Tapping into who you truly are, the awareness of your magnificence. The awareness of your magnificence. Life created, this universal field of consciousness created everything that we see in life. It created the mountains, the rivers, the clouds, the sky, the sun rises and the sun sets. And you are that. You are that. You are that being. You are that awareness. You're the magician to your life. You are the source of all of your problems and all of your challenges and anything that is missing in your life. It is within you. It's just about remembering that. It's tapping into that and being still. In your stillness, all of a sudden that awareness comes through. I've got a quote here. I don't know where, I can't find the quote. I've written so many notes because I didn't want to miss anything. So if you've got any questions or any awareness, is anything you're not clear on or anything you want some elaboration on. To change reality is to change your concept of self. To change reality, you change your concept of self. So when you tap into that universal field or the God consciousness within you, there's an expansion that happens. And this expansion, like I was saying, this is self and this is who you truly are. When this expansion happens, this energetic field starts to grow. This energetic field starts to grow all around you. It expands. And as I said earlier, your job, your purpose here is to make that energy expand. It's to be a light in the world. It's to be a beacon of hope. It's to express who you truly are, to find the path to that in this life. Then you can have anything. You can have whatever you want because you'll know how to attract it. You'll know how to create it because that is who you are. I love that. It's so nice. So fall in love with your life. And another thing that you can also do is self-care. You need to have self-care. You need to do things that make you feel good. You could have a bath. You could take some time to have a bath, or you can that's what I did this morning up on my balcony. I made myself a cup of coffee and I just sat with the sunrise because that is self-care. If you've got any ideas for self-care, write in the comments. What can you do for self-care? What can you do to nurture yourself? What can you do to nurture your soul? Spiritual spiritual texts and spiritual books were the start for me. They were a great way to raise my energy. They were a great way for me to find myself within this time, space, reality that we call life, that's just so filled with problems. The only problems that we have is that we think that we're separate. Candles and soft music, beautiful. Thank you, Wendy. Absolutely. Candles and soft music. What can you do to make you feel good? Because the second you feel good, you're tapping into that universal field. You're tapping into that potential. Everything that feels beautiful, everything that feels magical and amazing makes you feel good. It taps into that field. Yesterday after we did the call, I invited my daughter. We went to a really classy, beautiful hotel that I just love being there. It's an atrium that's just filled with plants, and I just felt like I'm in a tropical jungle inside the hotel. And we had some champagne, and my daughter she bought some hot chips because she was hungry. But we were just sitting there. That's self-care. Light candles, put on some beautiful music, some soft music, or listen to that song. Listen to that song that I played at the start. That can be your anchor to tapping into your heart, to tapping into into who you truly are. So today's lesson is about tapping into who you truly are. It's remembering your consciousness. It's remembering the field. It's remembering that you are in this life, you are in this world, but you are not of it. That means that pamper yourself. Bet says pamper yourself. Absolutely. Wendy says walking on the beach, listening to waves. Yep. What floats your boat? What makes you feel whole? What makes you feel alive? What makes you feel magical? What makes you feel beautiful? For me, I love putting a makeup on and doing my hair. That's a way for me to do self-care, because I like what I see in the mirror then. So your awareness of who you are is the path to getting what you truly want, because it's finding the joy in the moment. It's finding the joy on the journey. The more you focus, remember this, the more you focus on your problems, the more you are disconnecting yourself from that universal field. It's like that wave. It's like that wave that's saying, I'm separate from the ocean, and the ocean has abandoned me. The ocean has abandoned me, doesn't love me. I'm stuck. I'm disconnected. You are the ocean in the drop. You are not the drop. You're not separate from the ocean. So self-care and the awareness of that is everything. That's what today's lesson was about. Yesterday was about you in the world, your thoughts, how you're feeling, what's going on for you. Today is all about who you truly are, tapping into that magical, mystical self. That's the only place where true joy is in the remembering of that. Everything else is temporary. Everything else, like if you buy a new car, or you get a new this, or you get a new that, or you have a holiday. Like, I live my life every day in the gratitude and in the awareness of who I truly am. I look through the eyes or through the lens of the mystical. I see beauty in everything. And my life is so fulfilled because that's how I live my life every single day. I live in gratitude. I live in appreciation in every moment. And if I slip out of that temporarily for a moment, then I come straight back, because it's like that saying, water always finds its level. Water always finds its level. When you tap into that awareness of who you truly are, when you tap into the awareness of your consciousness, of the ocean, then you will find that equilibrium. It could be wavy, but as soon as you tap into who you are, all of a sudden there's this stillness. There's this stillness within you. There's this feeling of peace. There's this feeling of wholeness. That is your goal. That is your daily goal. to remember who you are and live in that space as often as you can every single day, and magic will happen. All of a sudden these things will start to come your way. So this is what I want you to do as well. This is some homework. We're just a little bit over time. Ask for a sign. I want you to communicate with the universe. I want you to communicate with that field. Ask for an object. Doesn't matter what it is. And don't have any expectation of how it shows up. I've done that I've asked for kookaburras. I've asked for balloons. I've asked for feathers. And all of these things have showed up for me in different ways. When I asked for the feather, what I was doing, I think it took a few days, and then I was scrolling on Facebook, and all of a sudden this picture came up. It was a white background with a black feather. I asked for a red balloon, because this is you playing with the universe. This is you speaking to the field. I asked the universe, I spoke to the field, and I asked for a red balloon. It took quite a few weeks, maybe even possibly months, for this one to show up. I asked for a red balloon, and I'd almost forgotten about it, and just think red balloon, red balloon, red balloon, or blue butterfly, whatever your object is. And then I was driving into a shopping centre car park, and all of a sudden this red balloon was just like a helium balloon, but you know how when they're deflated they float really low? So this red balloon just floated past my car. It's beautiful when that happens. Speak to the universe, speak to the unified field, speak to consciousness, and ask for a sign. And then when that sign shows up, or when that object shows up for you, comment in the group, comment in the chat, and see what happens. Because the unified field is listening to you. It wants all of your desires to come through. But if you have that desire and all of a sudden you're saying it's not going to happen, you're pinching that off. You're saying to the field, no, I don't want it. I don't have faith. Have the faith. Have the faith that object will show up. Ask for an object. Keep it to yourself and watch what happens. And then you can post in the group. If that happens after the 7 days when this is down, then you can just post in the group. You can say, Anna's Day 2 Manifesting Masterclass, this is the object that showed up for me. You can either post a photo of it or just comment on it, because you will inspire others to do the same. So if you've got any questions, I'm happy to answer your questions, because our hour is up. Don't want to keep you too long. Let me know if this was valuable for you, any insights that you may have had. I will check the comments afterwards. If you've got any questions, post them in the comments and I will respond to you. So you are amazing. You are incredible. You have come into this life. You have asked for this information. That's why you're here. You are the drop. You are the ocean in the drop. I feel like I have a lot of work to do, Wendy says. Bet says, excellent. That's all the process, Wendy. That's it. It's the unraveling. Remember yesterday we said about the tangled Christmas lights. It's a process. It takes time. Just try not to get frustrated along the journey, because the more you get in touch with who you are, the easier it becomes. And it doesn't happen overnight. Just like the plant, the seed. When you plant the seed, it can take, for example, as a fruit tree. It's still a seed. It has the intention. When you plant the fruit tree, it magnetizes its like matter, like iron filings to a magnet, and it grows. Grace says, I do have a lot and fully believe in manifesting, and it does work so many times for me. Absolutely. She's in touch with the field. Grace is in touch with the field. It's your turn now to get in touch with the field. So just like the apple, that's what I was going to say. If you plant an apple tree, it can take 4 years to experience the fruit, but it's about the faith. You walk in faith. You walk in the faith that the field is listening. The field is listening. It's responding to you. What you've got right now is what it's responded to. What we're going to do is we're going to shift that. We're going to change that. And tomorrow we're going to talk about, okay, how do we now unite? How do we blend all those together to create shift and change in your life? So thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you. I love your energy. Thank you for spending this hour and we're over an hour. Thank you for spending this time with me. You're amazing. You're incredible, and you are worthy, and you can have whatever you want. Wendy says she's feeling more positive than she has in a long time. It's just energy. It's just energy, Wendy. I'm just the channel of that energy. You can capture this energy and take it with you every single day. Remember to tap into the field today. Tap into the field. Stillness, quiet, get rid of the problems, play that song, whatever you need to do for self-care and self-love. Thank you, Grace. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you, Grace. Thank you. You're such an inspiration and my mentor. Oh, beautiful. And it's my absolute pleasure to do so. I'm doing what my purpose is, and this brings me the joy and fulfillment to help you get to the same place. So I will talk to you all again tomorrow. Love you lots, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Remember to ask for your sign and then share with us in the group. Bye.